What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate show. I just watched the Anthony Joshua Francis Ngannou their kickoff press conference. I mean, uh, wasn't a lot of things being said. Pretty much Ngannou just he was asked that question that he said he was told that he heard AJ doesn't have a chin, whatever, and he wants to exploit that and find out. And AJ just basically said he's just looking forward to the fight. Pretty much, it really wasn't a whole lot said. And pretty much he was asked after he was after the face off, about how did his body feel and just certain things, little questions. It really wasn't much going on. But AJ said basically something smart, and I've been saying this. You guys been watching, that when you do film study, you always study as much as you can on a person because a lot of times there's habits that fighters have. There's things that they do that certain opponents wasn't able to exploit to make them to bring these bad habits out. Just learning their mannerisms, how they react to different things. So AJ said that in studying Ngannou, he studied the Fury fight, but he also studied, some of his MMA fights just to see how he reacted to things, during stand-up, which is something that everybody should do. And that's why I tell people, I don't always just watch I don't see like people feel like, you watch the latest performance, yeah, but it's always things that you watch because, like I said, people make certain mistakes, they do certain things wrong, and there's a lot of things that a fighter may not see. Then he go back and watch the fight and go, damn, especially if he loses, like I should have done this or that, or especially if they go and watch something they never saw before and realize this is something that this person has always done, has done often in the past, and other people wasn't able to exploit these things. And he also said something that I like is where they asked him, "Are you looking to outdo Fury?" He says, "No." He says, "I'm not focused on anything other than my opponent." He said, "I was never ever competing with Fury in that sense. Like, it's a different fight," which is that look that and this is something that people always they want to compare two fighters' performances. And like he said if you look at the fighters that me and Fury have both fought, our common opponents, I've either broken them up, knocked them down, knocked them out, or stopped them. Right? So we see what happens. Now, Ngannou, and people have to understand this too. I've said this about Ngannou. I've noticed this about him. He's a big guy that does have some agility, and when you're like really just naturally a big dude, it's your punch resistance is different, of course, than someone smaller. But in a sense of what he's already done and the confidence that he should have gained after fighting Fury, how much sharper he may be or whatever he's added to his arsenal, we'll know come fight night. AJ said basically he fights as good as he trains, and that he'll be fitter, stronger, and smarter in his next fight than he was in his previous fights. And like I said, it was no shit talking going on, but at the same time, it's like you have to, like, for me, I just go down to fight night. There's things you can see in the press conference. I don't, I'm not into all that who won the press conference goofy shit. That's silly shit to me. And then AJ said it. You don't win a fight in a face off. It's like basically people here who won the face off, who did this, who did that. That's just not my thing. I think that's just corny. It's not my thing. But truthfully, people, oh, but Eddie Hearn said it. Yeah, listen. There's no need for Eddie Hearn, anybody stand there and go, oh, Francis Ngannou's a bum, and we're going to expose him, we're going to... No, it's a fight. There's no need to sit and talk shit. Give the man his credit. You're trying to get people interested in the fight. I'm not suggesting you lie about things, but people are going to do whatever or exaggerate or whatever. But I think like when you look at what's in front of what they have to do, you don't take anybody lightly, and you come in here to win. You come in here focused and prepared. So, Ngannou said he's going to take this fight more serious. And like I told you, even looking at Fury coming in flapping his belly and, you know, the bottom line, the same way people said, oh, look at Andy Ruiz, he's a little short, fat guy, and he was able to beat AJ. I always say the same thing, okay, well, Fury's a tall, fat guy. So, I mean, if it's the point of, I would never let somebody look like that, or how could you let somebody look like that beat you? Okay, well, double standard then, right? But it doesn't matter. They always say it's not a belly building contest. It's not about what you look like, it's the skills. All right, well, so we debunk all that bullshit. And I get it. I get it. what people are saying. What I'm saying is they only say it in regards to Ruiz, but not in regards to Fury, as if Andy can't box or something. But this is a fight that, like I said, you know, like one of the guys said, you know, AJ referenced this as a circus fight, but now he's in one. It is a fucking gimmick fight, a circus fight. That's what it is. But it's big money there. And this wasn't even AJ's decision. This was Eddie Hearn who spoke about that and said that, you know, they were in talks with the Saudis, and he said, like, what fight could we possibly make? Like, what's the biggest fight we can make right now with AJ? And then Eddie Hearn said, there's no bigger fight than Ngannou. Okay, is that any different from which? Is that any different? Well, it is different in the sense with Eddie Hearn, he didn't shoot the fight down. Anthony Joshua himself said he's just not into the gimmick fight. So in other words, if it was up to him, he'd rather fight somebody else. But it's obviously they're paying, this is a big money fight. One of the family, I don't know, I didn't get this information. One of the family said that from what he understands, that AJ is getting 50 million and Francis is getting 20. Well, even if that's the case, well, then he didn't miss out on anything with Wilder, with just the exception of getting the 50 million and knocking him out, which he probably would have got a bonus for the knockout. But at the end of the day, in terms of the fight being like a gimmick fight, that's what it is. Remember, Oscar De La Hoya was talking shit about Floyd. He's tainting his legacy. I don't know. Like, there's no reason to. Connor's not the boxer. And in the same sentence, the guy interviewing him said that there's talks that Canelo wants to fight Conor McGregor, or Conor wants to fight Canelo. I mean, we can make the fight. We can make the fight happen. Now Floyd is tainting his legacy by fighting him, but yet it's okay for Canelo. You know, and I'm like, yeah, okay, hypocrisy, man. But in this situation, no, and that's what it is. It's a gimmick fight, man. And it's obvious AJ's going to take it serious. He's not going to go in there like, nah, this is a gimmick fight. This guy is not on my level. Let me just go in there. No, he's going to take it serious, and he needs and wants to make a statement. Look, Francis Ngannou seems like he's determined. And also, for him to go in there with Fury, and the fact of the matter, even when he was talking about a rematch, Fury said that it wasn't worth it. Francis wasn't worth the rematch. Now, here's the crazy thing. People ask this question, and now I can answer it if you didn't see that press conference. If Francis Ngannou was to win, then he takes Anthony Joshua's spot. Y'all hear this? Like, he will be fighting that fight for undisputed. Well, if Fury and Usyk decide to exercise the rematch clause, that fight for the IBF will actually be Urkovich versus Francis Ngannou if he was to win. Actually, Eddie Hearn said the winner will fight for undisputed. That's what Hearn said. And so he said, could you imagine Francis Ngannou, if that happened, if he was to beat AJ, winning undisputed on only his third fight? That's what Brock Lesnar did when he went to the UFC. He won his UFC heavyweight championship on only his third fight. Now, that being said, Ngannou being given an opportunity based on popularity's sake with Fury. Ends up in his second fight with another top heavyweight at AJ. So now, if he was to beat AJ, this man will be fighting for undisputed. And I don't know what people, they don't understand, don't look at this, but here's the situation where you have guys who've been skipped over considerably, all because they don't have star power. As good as people may think this is for boxing, it's actually a black eye to boxing. And this is why people take boxing as such a joke. You've been hearing me for the past year or so saying people don't know the difference between a misfit fighter and a boxer. They think they're all the same. I was reading comments, yo, Jake Paul versus AJ would be great. Yo, I think Jake Paul versus Wilder. Oh, they don't even know the difference between a real fighter. They really don't. I mean, Wilder's limited as fuck, so you don't really see too much in him. Now, I was going to say this, though. And I don't think it's going to happen simply because his name didn't come out their mouths. But you see, Joseph Parker, according to Michael Benson and Michael Coppinger, that Joseph Parker versus Zhang is already locked in for March 8th. Now, that's two opponents that people wanted. The rematch with Parker for Wilder and Zhang. Now, we know that, and this goes to show you what I'm saying about how fighters, they don't want to take risks and people don't look at the bigger picture. Urkovich was calling out Joseph Parker, but Parker's fighting Zhang instead. So, I don't know if this was more of the Saudis. I feel like the Saudis feel that fight more than the Urkovich fight, I guess. I don't know. Obviously. But this goes to show you what I'm saying about where Wilder stands right now. Why wouldn't Wilder and his team say, you know what? Let's try to get a fight with Urkovich. That motherfucker's the mandatory. Let's at least try. I beat him. I'm the mandatory for the IBF. Why would he not want to do that? So you see my point. Here's a guy on only his second fucking pro fight. If he wins, he's fighting for undisputed. That's what Eddie Hearn said. So it won't even be about Urkovich versus it wouldn't be about Urkovich versus the mandatory at that point, because the mandatory, unless the mandatory was to fight and win and become undisputed. So that means he would hold off and let him wait. And then whoever undisputed is will wind up fighting, Ngannou. Simple. But you see, you can take a guy like that and put him in the mix. Now here's a guy that's a former world champion and you're willing to give him a lesser opponent and put him on the same card. And just having his name on there is not enough. Like that's not enough. I mean, he needs to fight somebody and earn his keep. And this is what I'm saying. Here's a veteran box fighter in here getting the treatment of, okay, we'll give you an easier fight, but still keep you on this card. Then we're going to take a guy for namesake who held his own against Fury, and we're going to put him back in here. So, yeah. Hopefully AJ goes in there and, like I said, not just beat him, but really beat his ass. Like, really, like, swell him up, close his eyes, knock him out. That's what really needs to happen. What's going to happen, we'll see. But that's the fight. And you know what? Also, in terms of the way people see boxing, we have far too many YouTube channels, far too many different people giving their take on boxing, that they are accepting this crossover stuff and all this gimmick stuff as if this is just boxing because it's lucrative. These are big fights. I look at that and I think, man, you know what's so really crazy is because you can take any other combat sport. You don't see kickboxers unless they become full-fledged boxers. You don't see, K1 guys. You don't see fighting championship. You don't see these people jumping in a boxing ring, right? UFC has a certain prestige. where these guys can talk shit and all of a sudden they end up, going back and forth with a fighter, a boxer, and then they always pull this, oh, come fight me in the cage shit, and it's like, there's no money in that shit. Like, you know what I mean? And then it's like, they are always saying that they're better than boxers, what they do is harder, blah, 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 and all. But then you guys are not paying a person $50 million, $20 million, right? So why would they do that? They come into boxing simply because, they're going to get the biggest payday ever. Francis Ngannou ain't never seen $20 fucking million in a fucking octagon cage. Never. So at the end of the day, it hurts boxing in the sense that people are going to say, this motherfucker came in, this is what you're going to get. And Ngannou fans will say, this dude is no joke. He came in there and he did what he had to do, which you got to give him his credit. If he was to beat AJ, you got to give him his credit, plain and simple. But what most people are going to say is boxing is overrated. How the fuck does a guy with 3 wins coming in and do this shit? And the thing about it is, here's a guy with the heart to do nothing but fight top guys. We're here, and this is the embarrassment for the fighters, the boxer that's been here, that's been cushioned and fighting nobodies all their career. And it makes me laugh, man, when I think about it, right? Think about this, y'all. We spoke about this, but you imagine all the people, the Teddy Atlases and all these other people talking about AJ and Hearn are glad that they don't have to fight Wilder. Let's put it in these terms. AJ and Hearn are glad that they're not about to collect $100 million. You really think that AJ is scared of fucking Wilder? Y'all want to believe that shit so bad. And y'all make up any stupid thing just because 7-8 Sports and Wilder said that dumb shit. That nigga was happy as hell when I lost. Whatever, man. You're not the begin all end all of boxing, but guess what? If Francis Ngannou was standing there in front of Deontay Wilder March 8th, most people feel that he would wind up fucking Wilder up because we already know what Wilder's going to throw. Wilder's too goddamn skinny, too slinky. Even if he tried to put on weight, it doesn't matter. His footwork is pitiful, and you got to understand, Ngannou wouldn't have a hard time getting to Wilder. You understand what I mean? And I believe Wilder would be intimidated, to be honest with you, by his size and the fact that he won't be able to land that right hand as easy as he, would like to. And that's all he has. And even in this short time, that's because this is what I'm telling you. This is how poor of a fighter Wilder is. And Ngannou looks sharper than him. Even though he's not putting combinations together, Wilder doesn't either. But he looks sharper even in the way he responded. And, so he can say, I got the same thing in common with Wilder, that we both dropped Fury. You understand what I'm saying? So his confidence is different. Wilder was talking about fighting Ngannou first. So what happened? What went wrong? I don't know. I've never heard a story on why the fight never materialized. Okay, but again, all this talk about not getting opportunities, and I'm watching these guys and I'm saying, well, damn, you know something? Just think about it. If Wilder had won, it would be AJ versus Wilder in March. All right? That's what it would be. At the same time, that $100 million for those 2 fights, just think. You think Wilder's not sick to his stomach that he's not getting that $100 million? So all that talk about I'm a happy fighter and all this spread love talking and all this stuff about how he has to get his killer instinct back. Think about it. Y'all think he's laying in bed at night comfortable knowing, damn, that's $100 fucking million. Y'all don't think that that's getting to him, but he's too goddamn sensitive. He's too emotional. You think AJ and Hearn went, Wilder lost? Okay, now I don't have to go get that $100 million. You guys must be foolish, man. And in all honesty, there's a lot of people who say they think Ngannou was a more dangerous opponent than Wilder. And looking at that last pitiful performance that he had, I mean, he didn't win because he wasn't the better man. Nobody cheated Wilder. So, just saying, y'all, the face-off, it was what it was. I'm not, big on that. I'm just giving the boxing news because I did see it. Like I said, there wasn't a lot said in terms of shit talking, which I don't care for that shit anyway. But just, looking at what going into the fight. And look, think about it. This is going to be AJ's fourth fight. Him and Parker are the most active heavyweights out there. Other people keep talking about I want to fight 3-4 times a year, but they just don't do it. And they can never give you a logical explanation as to why they're not fighting. Whose fault is that? You're not fighting. You're turning fights down. So, I would feel some kind of way if I'm on the card with nothing but top guys, and all the top guys are fighting nothing but top guys. But here I am on this card, but I'm fighting a meatball. I'm fighting someone who I know is not elite. That, I would feel some kind of way. Because here we are, we're competing, right? Everybody want to be that top guy. And so when you talk about all the fights, my fight is basically broken down to I cherry picked someone that was old, washed up, over the hill, but have respect on their name, or I needed a confidence builder fight. Man, this is where I say, humble yourself, step back, whatever that confidence building fight is, go have that, then come back. Because really, this is something we felt proud about with the Saudis, man. So I just, when I'm looking, AJ has the same facial expression all the time now. So, he just, and he's not angry. He's just serious. He's focused. And as he should be. So the questions about, in the back of your mind, are you thinking about undisputed? And then he's like, look, I'm not thinking about belts. None of that right now. Right now, my focus is just Ngannou. And we know that, like I said, last card, all the big mouths, all the shit talkers, they got their asses with all of them. Every shit talker got their ass whooped on that card. This is a fight where not only does, AJ need this win, of course. Understand, even if he is making $50 million in this fight, just say, I don't know, I was told that, but even if he is, it still derails his undisputed plans if he was to lose to Ngannou. Now, let's say if he lost to Ngannou, with AJ, with Wilder didn't have the heart to decide, okay, yo, Malik, Finkel, let's try to get the AJ fight. Or does he still need a confidence builder? Okay? If AJ goes in there and stand on business and get rid of Ngannou like he's supposed to, does he then get confidence and then say, hey, listen, I'm coming off of a loss, Ngannou's coming off of a loss. Hey, let's try to get this Ngannou fight. Ngannou more than likely will be down for it because, hey, it'll be, okay, I lost to AJ and Fury, but fuck, now I get Wilder. So it's another top name. It's going to be another big payday. So basically, him skipping the line, he benefit financially, and if he win or lose, if he wins, he benefit financially, and this man will be in a position for undisputed. And this is the part of boxing, what I'm saying, is gimmicky circus shit. How in the fuck you take actual boxers who've been on the grind, busting their asses for this sport, dedicate themselves to their craft, and they can't fucking get in the positions where the big fights happen because, well, they have to, put numbers up. But then here's a guy coming from MMA. One fight, WBC champion. Second fight, former unified, two-time unified champion. And his third possible fight, if he wins, possibly for undisputed. But what I'm saying is, the fact that you can skip the line. You can skip the line due to star power. It's crazy. It's just crazy, man. And listen, I don't fault him for taking advantage of these opportunities, but he's a guy that was given. He didn't earn shit, he was given. That's all he was given. He, did the best he could. Fury got the decision. But now he is back here with AJ. So it's like I'm looking at this and I'm like, it's funny because for a long time we were talking about Anthony Joshua, Dillian White, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. Who the hell thought one day we'd be sitting talking about Francis Ngannou fighting any one of them? But here it is. And we're going to see what happens. There's really not much to say. You know, I guess now from, next couple of weeks, they'll have training videos up, open workouts, and like, people to chime in what they see, what they think. I don't know if Mike Tyson's going to be back with Ngannou. More than likely, Dewey Cooper will. He worked with a lot of fighters, boxers, and MMA guys, so he more than likely will. But, either way, we'll see what's going to happen. And like I said, I tip my hat to Francis Ngannou, man, because he got the heart to go in there and do what a lot of these other fighters want. They penny pinch, and it just has to be, exactly, no, I want this. I don't want you to take nothing but the crumbs. I want the whole cake. You take the crumbs from the cake. So with the Saudis, take it or leave it type thing, that we like that. We like that setup. But I'm just not into this giving guys a lesser fight just to try to make them look good, because we've been seeing that shit forever. And we know what these guys can and can't do. So it's just not helping just to throw their names on the card. I mean, it may, in terms of that individual's fans might watch normally what they might not watch, but to go, okay, I'll watch it now since he's on there. Any one of these fighters can have that effect. But I'm saying in principle, I just wouldn't feel right. Everybody's fighting equals. I'm fighting the lesser guy because my confidence ain't there. My heart ain't there. My killer instinct isn't there. Goddamn. Look at what Francis Ngannou. Look at the position he's in. Stop being sad and sulking. Wake up. Get up. Stand up like a man. Simple. Go out on your shield, like you say, right? This is funny to me, man. It's funny. It's not even funny like I'm laughing funny. It's funny in a shameful way. It really is. So, I don't know if anybody, thought about that or was aware, but yeah, Eddie Hearn said if this man wins, that he'd be fighting for undisputed on his third fight. And that's just crazy to me, man. Meanwhile, guys like Frank Sanchez still have to climb up the ladder. That's just crazy. Anyway, talk to me in the comment section. Tell me what y'all think about this AJ versus Ngannou fight, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.